Hello, hello, hello. This is Tina Michelle of Tina Speaks Radio. Thank you for being here, and I'm so excited to say that this is show 1 of season 2. Today's a very special day, and let me share why. Why is it so special? Because a voice that you only hear over the phone is actually here live. That's right. Darlene Nelson of thesecretisyou.com is here live in the studio in the flesh from Arizona, and I'm so excited to be able to sit here and introduce my audience to brilliance, strategy, perseverance, love, peace, comfort, and friend.
Wow.
Darlene Nelson. We're going to come right back, and we come right back in. We're going to hear her whole story, not just a little piece you get to hear when she's on the air, on the telephone from Arizona. We get to hear all about Darlene Nelson from thesecretisyou.com. Go over to her website, learn a little bit about her product. Now you're going to figure out her whys around it. We'll be right back here on Tina Speak.
In so many ways I can please.
Here at Tina Speaks, and this is Tina Michelle, and I have the beautiful Darlene Nelson in the studio with me. And this is the first time she gets to sort of see me do my thing in the space. Isn't it different, huh, Darlene?
It's great.
It's great. Is it fun?
It's fun.
It's a nice little mix. I have to remember that this is radio, this is TV, this is web, this is all that.
This is a photo shoot.
This is a photo shoot. It's all that. But it's wonderful because it's now. It's now. It's mixed media. It's now. So we are going to have this learning conversation about you, because there's so many times. Yesterday when we were together at this wonderful little photo shoot, I kept going, gosh, are we really that much alike? You would say things and I'm like, me too. I know that we had a resonance the very first day, to the point we stared across each other at a table and we had tears in our eyes, and it's like, you felt that pain, that joy, that pleasure, that drive, the same things that I felt. 2 different worlds, 2 different times, but same experience, because we're both human, right?
Absolutely.
But listening to little finite details yesterday, I'm like, oh, no way. You're kidding. Me too. I hate driving. I don't like to drive. I don't get it. I feel like Richard Gere in Pretty Woman, right? What was your first car? Why don't you know how to drive a 5-speed underground? Because my first car was a limo. Hello. Like that. Like it a lot. So we're here, and we're going to hear the background, the backstory that makes who you are today, and why the secret is you. I love that. Even when it came to the original title, The Secret, I'm like, okay, it's not a secret, so what? But when you said the secret is you actually sort of finished the thought. Mm-hmm. It made sense. We're going to talk about that. So where are we going to start?
Let's start with my story.
Okay.
Because I have been able to come and overcome so many odds in my life. And I like to share my story so that people can actually relate to it. And, let me just go back to the death of my son and just kind of share that a little bit, because there's a lot of people out there that have lost someone. And I actually think that the pain is a gift. I call it the gift of pain. And my son was 10 weeks old when I had an emergency I needed to take care of, and I let a dear friend of mine watch him for just 2 hours. I hadn't let anyone else watch him outside of my home, and he actually died in her home during that short, brief time. And, he was this healthy, happy, sweet little baby, and just went to the doctor the day before, perfectly great checkup, and then all of a sudden he was just gone. And it really taught me that every day that we wake up is a gift, and I cherish that. And it's the polar effect. With the bitter comes the sweet. With the pain comes the joy. And I think when I went through this pain, I was able to experience greater joy. So that's just one little thing. I have overcome.
I have to stop you there, because we got people listening to us, and they're going, wait a second, 10-week-old baby, First time leaving the baby with someone else,
15 pounds.
right? 2 hour span, and now he's gone. Now I get the content, joy, and pain. I get it from a content standpoint. Dig into that moment for a little bit so that people understand that polarity for their own lives right now. They have to resource it, because right now, just even hearing that, I can't even resource it properly, right?
And you know, I didn't resource it instantly. I didn't. You know, actually, I was numb for 3 days. But there's something about seeing the spirit void from the body that lets you realize there's so much more to life than just right here, than right now. And that's kind of why I think we connected so much, is that it's bigger. It's bigger than just right here, our body and that. You know, by the way, all we have to do is go back to Noah to know that we were related.
That's right. That's right.
But the connection that goes beyond the now. And so it wasn't until I lost my son that I realized, you know, how much I had to be grateful for, to living this moment, to relating to someone who had lost a loved one, you know, because you just don't get it till you've been there. And, you know, I've lost my mom. I've lost my dad. I had a very close friend that I just absolutely adored, Christy, who was murdered by her husband. He shot her 13 times, 11 bullets through her body on her birthday in the church parking lot in front of small children. And, you know, you experience those things in life, and it changes you, and it helps you love unconditionally and not be judgmental in pretty much every area of your life. And I think that's what began the process of The Secret Is You. That's what began the shift for me. So I went from, you know, going through divorces, living in a marriage where there was serious physical abuse. It was famous, but I couldn't tell anyone. I mean, to the point of having my ribs broken, being in the hospital, just crazy things like that. I went from being homeless and broke to making millions. And what happened is I realized that you can overcome anything in any economic condition. And so, you know, I was able to do that shift. And I think because I've experienced so much in my life that I can relate to so many people.
I believe that because I see that in your eyes. Like when we connect, I mean, I think it's really that a rare moment if we're not talking, just you and I one-on-one, and
We don't even have to talk.
We don't even have to talk. We just stare at each other, and you just go, "Where are you?" And I go, "I'm there," but I'll talk to you about it later. But you already know.
We had one of these moments just a few
Yeah, we
minutes
just had
ago.
one just a few minutes ago. I was like, I can't talk about it right now. But it's there, right? Because it's part of the experience.
It is.
Right? So there's a few things you just said. You talked about a friend who was murdered by her husband on her birthday in a parking lot. You said you lost your mom. You lost your dad. Right? That's just a lot of loss, you know, for a person that I know has so much to give. I mean, so full of love.
I think that's why I have so much to give. You know, I haven't lost them. I haven't. You know, they're there. They exist. It's just that they have taught me so much.
Yeah. I can relate to that. Losing my mom.
Yes.
My selfishness wishes she was here. But I always remember the thing that really keeps me through every day, that when I need to resource anything in life, we're connected by one element. You know what that element is? And it gives me comfort every day. You know what it is?
What?
Air. We recycle the same air for all of time, right? So it's the same air the dinosaurs breathed, that Buddha breathed, that Jesus breathed. It's the same air. So it's the same inspiration over and over and over again. And that makes me feel better. It just makes me feel better that generationally, tongue work, generationally, we are connected to genius and love and resources and power and ambition and rebellion and peace and all of that in all time through the human spirit right now.
Absolutely.
Right now.
Absolutely.
And
Not just us, but everybody out there.
Everyone. And it's, to me, that is the most empowering thing that I could ever grasp in not just content, but in context, when I can sit down in my now, not in a crisis of what happened, not a fear of what's going to happen, but stop everything and get into my now and go, all one, I am, right?
Absolutely.
That's the most powerful space ever. So getting back into the secret is you. I really believe that we have a thread of content if we're authentic about how we write our content. Some people wake up and go, I need to make money, so let me piggyback off of this soundbite, right? Or I need to make money and this is trending right now, let me just piggyback. I understand that we do things that are relevant, right? But most of our books have been written from the beginning of time.
Yes.
We're just sort of walking out the content. We get to capture it on paper or on digital, or how I was going to say, I'll say celluloid, but that makes me old, right? Do they do that anymore? Is it on tape anymore? But we get to capture it. We're just the vessels.
That's true.
So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to sort of hone into a moment. So go there in your mind's eye right now. There was a moment that through this pain, in the beginning, in the onset, that you landed in your body and you said, this is for a reason, I'm going to help others. So I want you to capture that moment for us when we get back from break. Will you do that for me?
Absolutely.
Okay, we'll be right back here on Tina Speaks. Okay, we're back. I am beautiful in every sense of the word. I love that song. I love it because it's an empowering song. So I believe that everyone is beauty. There's beauty in you, right?
It starts inside.
It starts inside. My granddaddy used to say to me when I was a kid, beauty is as beauty does, just don't act ugly, baby. And I followed that because I remember him telling me once that was ugly and it bothered me. I must have been like 6. Something I did was very ugly. And I remember him frowning at me and going, that was a very ugly action. And I was hurt. I never wanted to get that response again, ever again. So there was a moment. We've been getting into some heavy things already, starting right into this conversation. I don't like to say interview, conversation. But there was a moment that through all the tragedy and the pain and everything that you've gone through, right, where you sort of recognize that there has to be a way that I can help other people who are going through the same exact thing get through it. Was there a specific defining moment?
There was. It was August of 1993 to be exact.
She has the date.
And it was when I realized that the whole universe didn't evolve around me.
What, it doesn't? Like it doesn't revolve around me?
It doesn't.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's part of the secret.
And what
the
I
secret
just
is you.
Yes. Well, the secret is you. So what happened is I realized that there was so much bigger and better things that I could focus on, and when I took the focus off of me, that things just started to fall into place in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was a major aha moment for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was actually, I was on top of a 30-foot pole just getting ready to jump off.
Wait. Stop. You're on top of a 30-foot what?
Pole.
Ready to do what?
Jump.
Why?
It was a trust issue.
I would say so. Were you trusting the law of gravity at the time?
It felt like it.
No, I mean, really, were you literally on a 30? Oh, it was an exercise.
It was.
I'm trying to really think.
I really was on top of a 30-foot pole.
I'm sitting there going, can we talk about that part too? Are you okay? Are you going to purposely jump off of a Now, you said a pole, and my mind just sort of clicked, and I realized it had to either be repelling or an exercise.
Yeah, keep in mind I had belays on, but you don't feel the belays at that moment. You just don't. But you do feel something exhilarating when you just let go, when you jump. And When I jumped, it was like every failure I ever had in my life in that very one moment just turned into success. And then all of a sudden, everything just made sense. And I felt like I had so much to give and I had so much to share. And, that you can be healthy, wealthy, and happy immediately. It doesn't get any faster than this. It doesn't get any easier than this. And I wanted to share that story. And I wanted to make a difference. Because the secret is you. You already have everything you need. There is nothing wrong. That's my message. There's nothing wrong. And the process to get where you want to be.
See, that's a huge soundbite, what you just said. And I like to interject because I want people to get involved. Just like season 1, this is season 2 of Tina Speaks. You must be in action about the content that you're hearing. So you need to figure out who you need to be to do it today.
Yeah, just get it over with.
It's a whole paradigmatic thought process. You don't get to just watch us. So what she said is huge. If you can get this, there is nothing wrong.
There's nothing.
There is nothing wrong. That means there's no specific right way of doing any of it, right? There's a way that works for you, and there's a way that works for me, but I don't have the right to say that your way is wrong.
And nothing has to be bad.
It doesn't have to be bad.
Everything can be good.
And
Everything.
I hope people can get that in their bodies. Because when I start every seminar and every class, every public presentation I do, I said no one has the right to be wrong, right? That if you ask the question, then you'll have an answer.
I'd like to say everybody has the right to be right.
That's right. Yeah. But that's huge because we live in a society that navigates right, wrong, mine, yours, top, bottom, competitive. We're in a hankering society that looks for a victim. I mean, it's all structured based on win-lose, not win-win. So you learned a win-win.
I did, and it's so much more easy. It's pretty much. It's so much better than win-lose or lose-lose. It's so much better to just quit resisting, just go with the flow, the ebbs and flows. And in life, that's the way it is, the yin and the yang. We have the peaks and the valleys, but let's smooth them out so they're not so high, not so low, and just enjoy it. Enjoy that flow in, that flow out.
See, most people never understand, how do you enjoy pain? How do you enjoy the tragedy that occurs when you feel like you've lost someone? You've lost your child. You've lost your mother. You've lost your father. I sat over my mother's bed for 30-something days saying, please wake up. And she died, right? And I'm feeling the other side right now. So you have the people listening going, but I'm in pain and I'm hurting right now. How is this going to benefit me?
Well, for me, I learned to appreciate the little things. A baby's smile, a child running crazy in a quiet area. I shifted my paradigm so that when someone cut me off on the freeway, I went, oh, I wonder if they're on their way to the hospital. I better let them by. Just a complete shift of non-judgmental, loving, just peace that makes things flow so much better in life.
And see what a beautiful paradigm that is. And I like to bring both sides of the table because you know that this show is about transformational conversations.
Absolutely. From
the inside out. That is the purpose of the show. And what a lot of people will look at me and say, oh, maybe she's a pushover, or maybe this is weak, or maybe she's slow, when really it's about not being in the crunch of resistance. I'm not going to be in your war, because if I have to fight you, that means we're equally equipped. But if I go to a law higher than you, the law of love, the law of peace, and live there and live in that frequency, it trumps everything that's in my environment. It trumps everything else that's there. And it keeps me focused, right? To wake up and say, I will not sacrifice my peace to anyone.
No.
That's a specific stance that came from loss. It came from me understanding what it felt to have my life and my peace completely shaken, upended, where I did not want to get up, I didn't want to wake up, I didn't want to talk, I didn't want to breathe, I didn't want to eat. I mean, this is something that you may be feeling like right now. Right now. If you have a chance while you're in the middle of this, watching this broadcast, in the middle of this content, go over to thesecretisyou.com, fill out the form, get information, because it's going to help you. These are not just tools this is not a book just about buy my book, sell my units. This is about save my life, change my game.
Absolutely. Since we're here, I just wanted to say that I have noticed that when I was the lowest, most down, most out of my life was when it was like kind of like a hairpin turn. I was just right at that corner that I couldn't see, but everything was ready to just skyrocket up into the direction that I wanted it to be. And so it's the saying, it's darkest before the dawn. You know, so if you're out there and you're feeling like, oh, this is so much, you're so close to what you want, just hang on.
Just hang on. I've always found that too. It's always worse before it gets better. I think it's much, much, much better, right? So what are the benefits, right? I like to talk to people about the benefits of being in your body and not taking a victimization role. I'm not going to be a victim, right? That doesn't mean I'm not going to let anybody take advantage of me. That's still a victim posture. Knowing that this is my life, I dictate and strategize what I have, the environment that I'm in, I create. I'm responsible for my own happiness, and I make sure I generate that happiness. That's a completely different position than you're not going to get over on me, right? How do we help people transition into that? Talk about the apples. The apples.
Okay, you love the apple
I
story.
like the apple story.
Well, and this story came around money, where people are like, oh my goodness, I lost my money in this real estate deal, or oh, this person stole this money from me. And I'm like, you know, you need to think of it like an apple. You know, if you have an apple and someone takes it, you don't go, oh, he took my apple. You know, I want my apple back. No, you just go to the store and get another apple. Okay? And so it's just that simple. Just go get more. The law of abundance says there's more and more and more.
We have to make sure that we take responsibility for ourselves, right? I found in this current stage, in releasing content, meditating, taking the time off, I was thinking, what is it that we do every day as coaches, as speakers, and what do we do every single day? What we do is we give a message of hope. Hope from what? Hope from pain. If you're in pain, you hope to not be. If you're broke, you hope to not be.
Yes.
Right? If you're sick, you hope to not be. So we give that answer, but it all drilled down to one word for me, was forgiveness.
Forgiveness is huge.
Forgiveness of self.
That's the biggest one. Forgive yourself.
Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for good decisions.
Because
bad
nothing's
decisions.
wrong.
Nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong. How simple is that?
Yeah.
How simple is that? We're going to take a break, and when we come back from this break, I want some steps. These guys need some steps. They need to do something today to turn it around.
Absolutely.
And that's so important. I kept talking about change. I got to get up. I'm in pain. I'm sick. You know, my mother died. My father is sick. I'm alone in the desert. I didn't have this. I didn't have that. And then one day I kept saying, Tina, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? And I couldn't think of a thing to do. I couldn't think of anything that I could do that would make me feel better. And then the question changed. Who do you need to be? Who do you need to be? And when I asked that question to myself, I realized I need to be who I was created to be. I am love. I am resourceful. I am powerful. I am dynamic. I am intelligent. I'm here. I'm alive. I'm at peace. When I realized that's who I needed to be, to walk as a human being, because we're not human doings, we are human beings, then the power of now actually energized me. And I was able to go from living in my future at times. It's like you see a shadow of yourself. You're in this timeline, here I was standing, and then there was a shadow of my past, and then a shadow of my future, because I was afraid of the things that happened to me in the past will repeat themselves in the future. So I was not really here. The minute I said, I am, I landed in my body.
We're so busy we aren't in the now.
I landed in my body, and I became conscious instead of crisis-driven. So we need some steps. We need to help people to get into their bodies, because it's at that point of crisis. That's really, we're actionists, right? That's the words I sort of made up. Instead of being an activist, we need to be actionists. We need to figure out what we can do to change the game. But there is a point of activism and activation, is to stop the crisis at the point of injury. That's what an activist does.
And it's simple.
It's simple. So we're going to have some steps when we get back.
We're going to have maybe 3.
Maybe 3? Very cool. We'll be right back here on Tina Speaks. weeks, and we have a little bit of a special thing happening here that I cannot wait for everyone to see. But when we broke last time, all the energy was moving, and I could feel that we need to go into some steps. We need to go into some steps because people tell you that you're going to lose things, but they don't tell you how to walk through that. They don't tell you how to walk through the grieving process. I know this because when I was walking through the grieving process, I Googled, I looked for whatever, I called people, I went on books, I was looking for anyone to be able to say a word, anything to make the pain stop. Anything to make the pain stop. And so in my search, I realized there's no way that I'm going to find it. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. This pain is going to be with me. I might as well use it as a catalyst to move forward in another way. And
You're going to move forward anyway.
You're going to do something. Some people think you're staying still. You're never staying still. You're either moving forward or going backwards, right? And what ended up happening was that pain became a lever for wanting to save lives. That pain became a lever to wanting to make sure that we produce content that if a person is sitting by themselves and there's nobody else that can hear them or see their pain, that they never feel alone ever again. That pain really propelled me into my destiny.
Yes.
Because where I was probably passive about the things I was doing and maybe didn't appreciate the fact that I was able to go on tours and be on world stages and so this is my gig, this is my job, this is what I do. It was after my mother died that I can say I feel and live in every moment. Because I see her and I see my daughter. I see the generations to come. I see it, through this lens. And the world is bigger than me. The world is all around me. But yet individually I get to experience it. And that's everything.
Yeah. So, the Hopi tribe believes that every word we speak, everything we do affects the next 3 generations.
Yes.
And to me, that was the real eye-opening situation where I could go, wow, what I do impacts many, many generations. That's a lot. So I can't be just messing around.
Yeah. And it makes it so much easier when you realize that you're not the only one who's ever gone through that. I remember feeling, oh my God, no one will ever understand what I'm going through, right? So you sort of reduce yourself to a 13-year-old when you go through pain, right, at times. But yet, I heard God pretty much say, like, you think I don't have an answer for you? You think that what you're going through is so far beyond me that I can't reach you. You really think you've cornered the market on pain and suffering. And there's no other way out. Really? Do you know how selfish you have to be to believe that you really are the only one?
Selfish is
You have to run that script
a good thought
over and
process.
over and over in your mind. I think the most selfish act I think I've ever tried to intervene on, and only once was it not successful, is suicide. To try to stop someone from taking their lives is to interrupt a virus that's happening in their mind.
I just went through that 2
That's
weeks ago with someone.
running, and to just get them to think for a minute outside of themselves and to take a breath and to be inspired for that moment and stop the pain at the point of crisis. There's no feeling like that. Not because you feel like you've done something special. It's that now you've helped that person to connect to everything around them, including you, and get outside of the prison of their minds. It's really, really a gift. But the one that was gone, I feel that every day. Because she really believed that she was by herself and no one else had an answer for her. And I couldn't say anything or do anything to stop it. I feel that every day. So I don't want that to ever happen. On my watch, I know I can't control everything.
You can't.
But I'm going to do the best I
You
can.
need to give up control.
I like control. I like it.
Yeah, get over it.
For my space. This is me and a Darlene conversation. I like control in my space. I like to control my... No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to do the best I can. That's my driver. So if that level of control, which is my own action to operate in the best that I can, that's my control. I can't control what happens with people. I can control what people say, but I can control my motivation and my dedication towards a
You
specific
can control
end.
what you believe in.
Yeah, I control that. So I really believe that that's why we're here, to intervene. So give us at least one step before we
you
have
know-
to close out here.
Oh my goodness, no, we can't be closing out. Then this is one really simple thing, and that is quit using the words I want, because you're not going to get what you want in life. You're going to get what you are.
Or what you are,
What
who
you
you
are.
be. That's
Okay,
right.
so use words like I choose. You know, use words like I intend. Just that one simple thing. Take I want out of your vocabulary.
You've just like silenced the entire population.
Good.
They're all quiet.
Pay attention to those thoughts and get rid of those two words together.
And there's a mechanism there that you're explaining. I want is in the future. That's the hankering, where I intend, I will, I choose, is in the now.
Absolutely. It's actually more than in the now, but
Well,
it is.
it is. It is now. And then now upgrades itself again.
So
Right. So that's huge. Write that down. No more. I
if
want.
that's all you walk away with, that's worth today.
What's the second thing? What's the second thing?
Well, you know, your thoughts. A lot of people think that thoughts you can that they're yours, but they aren't. If you just take a minute and stop thinking, can you do it? Mm-hmm. Oh, I doubt it. Are you thinking right now?
No.
No, I think
When
you
I'm
are.
speaking, I'm not thinking.
I think you're thinking.
But when I'm thinking, I'm speaking. When I'm thinking, I'm not
She's
thinking.
thinking.
I'm
Thoughts
always
are
thinking.
beings that
I'm
wanna
always
come
thinking
to
all
life.
the time.
And I've discovered that when you quit, you only pay attention to the thoughts of what you want and just totally ignore the thoughts that you don't. So, for example, you know, thoughts of, oh, hurting so bad. Oh, no, let's just ignore that. Let's talk about thoughts of peace and joy and excitement.
Think on these
And-
things. Things that are lovely. Things that are good report.
Let's only pay attention to the thoughts that are positive. We can totally ignore any other thoughts that are coming around, and that can turn things around so drastically. I was going through an issue that was really hard recently, feeling really bad about an ex, and I don't even know how to go with this, but I released the guilt and decided, you know what, I'm never going to pay attention to another thought again about feeling guilty. I'm just going to pay attention to the thoughts about all the exciting things coming forward. And that was such a release that it just transformed me in an instant.
And then I made room for the next. It made room for the next. Okay, so the first one was stop saying I want,
Yes.
release I want. So that really silences like most of the population, right?
Your thoughts are not your
Your
own, so
thoughts are
only
not-
choose to pay attention to the thoughts you want.
Yes. So in my grandmother speak, that was you can't control the birds from flying over your head, but you can stop them from making a nest in your hair. That's how my grandmother used to say that, and it's the truth. If you do what we consider sort of a thought fast, right, and you choose what you want to focus on, and it actually takes a little discipline too. For me, anyway, I had to write down for short periods of time some of those.
Yes,
ants.
it's a process
I
like
call them-
walking across the street. You
They're
have to get
ca-
to the other side.
Yeah, there were ants. I called them automated negative thoughts, right? The ants that would come into my little brain, and I would have to record them. But that's what you got right there is food. Those two things are game changers. Just those two things are
Yeah.
game changers. Well, we got a little special guest here, and I am very proud to present to my audience and the world this beautiful young lady that, yes, it's probably a little nepotist, but I think she's fabulous.
Thank you.
And a brilliant, brilliant gift from God and a gift to the universe.
Hi, I'm Shekinah. I'm singing a song by The Neighborhood called Sweater the Weather. It's a cover, and I'm so blessed to be on my mom's show. She rocks. And I also do other music. I'm trying to make my own project right now, and everything. So yeah. Okay. And all I am is a girl. I want the world in my hands, and I hate the beach, but I stand in California with my toes in the sand. Use the sleeves on your sweater have an adventure, head in the clouds, but my gravity centered. Touch my neck and I'll touch yours. Me and my little high-waisted shorts, babe. You know what I think about, what I think about. One love, one house, no shirt, no blouse, just us. You find out nothing you don't wanna sing about, no, no, no. It's too cold for you here, babe. So now let me hold both of your hands in the holes of my sweater. Yeah, I may just take your breath away. Out of mind, it's too much to say. Sometimes the silence guards your mind. Let's move to a place so far away. The goosebumps start to race. The mirror's my left hand meets your waist. And you watch my face, oh yeah. These hearts adore, and wanna see what we're fighting for. Wanna see what I'm fighting for. Outside it starts to pour, and coming down. One love, two mouths. One love, one house. No shirt, no blouse, just us. You find out nothing we don't wanna sing about, no, no, no. It's too cold for you here, babe. So now let me hold both of your hands in the holes on my sweater. Yeah, too cold for you here, babe. So now let me hold both of your hands in the holes on my sweater. Round of applause, round of applause.
I am so proud of you. Thank you very much, beautiful gift from God, for sharing your gift and your talent with the universe. And we know that this is just the beginning. And what a wonderful way to close season 1. Season 2, episode 1 on Tina Speaks. Thank you very much. This is Tina Michelle. Make sure, figure out who you need to be to do it today. Be in action about the things that you have heard and change your world.